Hello there, Fylde. Welcome to Lancaster University. Just before I start, if you've got any questions that you need answering, if you just pop them in the Q&A section, we can come back to those at the end. I'm Jean Bennett, I'm Principal of Fylde College. It's one of the smaller and friendliest colleges at Lancaster. You may well have seen me today wandering around, making sure everything was okay. We're going to take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about the colleges and support teams that are here for you. This is not a normal year for us and not the kind of experience we were hoping to let you have. Please remember that the primary reason you're here is to study and to get the best degree you can. We will do as much as we can to make sure you do that safely, but we need you to do your part and look after yourselves. We will take any breaches in the rules very seriously, and this could include having you removed from your programme of study. We want all of you to achieve your best and to have a great experience whilst at Lancaster, and we're here to help you achieve that goal. I'll introduce you to some of those great people in a moment. Most of the opportunities will be online for the next couple of months, and then hopefully we'll get back to meeting you in person. Whatever your thing is, there's usually a place for you in the Fylde family. Thought it might be interesting to see where we are in relation to the rest of the UK, because some people fly into Manchester and you don't actually get a feeling for where you are across the UK. Some of you I know, we've spoken to quite a few of you this morning, have travelled up from the south of England, so you're well aware of how far up the country we are. But we are actually only halfway. We're not up north, as some people seem to think we are. If you have a look at a map, you'll see that actually we're in about the middle. So not northern, not southern, in the middle, but not quite in the Midlands. You can see from here that actually we're equidistant between sort of London and also Edinburgh. You can get to Glasgow, Manchester and Birmingham quite easily, and we're on a main line, so that makes it quite easy for travel normally. And hopefully that within this year you will get back to travelling around again. So where are we in relation to the rest of campus? This is Fylde. Most of you will have come across most of the buildings in Fylde today as you've checked in, but you can see how close we are to the motorway, so I do apologise, but that's what we have to put up with for having easy access. If you look at the top of the screen, you'll see the Lake District. This is a great place for you to explore when we're able to do that again. Then we've got Morecambe Bay and Lancaster City Centre. Again, fairly close, but for now we'd like you to stay on campus. We've got just about everything you could possibly need here. So if you could stay on campus, that helps everybody. If you have a look at campus itself, at the top there, you've got County College, you've got LICA, so that's the Institute for Arts, you've got the Chaplaincy Centre, which is our multi-faith centre, Bowland College in the middle, and Bowland actually is where most of the shops and things are, so, and hairdressers, Subway, the Essentials, Greggs, banks, things like that, and the Edward Roberts Court food court. Sorry, got that all wrong. As we move down campus, you'll see there's some other buildings. These are all colleges as well, and then on top of those buildings, you've got things like the departments. So you've got along here, you've got chemistry, physics, you've got Finesse College. As we move down, you've then got things like LEC, the Environment Centre. And down here is where we are. You've got the Bonington Steps, which is where the ducks live. Above us, where you came in today to collect your keys, there's actually departments right above us as well. So there's psychology and maths, and the statistics centre is the one that's next to the ducks. George Fox also houses lecture theatres, so you can see that we've got a blend of both accommodation and teaching spaces all mixed into one here at Lancaster. As you come down, you've got the management school and then further colleges at Grisdale, Pendle. The ISS building looks like a black Borg box. Infolab, which is comms and computing if you're looking for it. More accommodation. And then on this side of campus, we've got things like Lancaster House Hotel and Alexander Park, which houses the Grad College, Lonsdale and Cartmel colleges. On the perimeter road, you'll also see that we've got our own health centre. Hopefully most of you by now will have signed up for the doctors. You've got a little slip for that today. And we've also got a preschool centre. We also have a dentist and things like that. So literally you have no need to go off campus, though it is a shame for now, but you will get your chance later. The other colleges, there are 8 undergraduate and 1 graduate college. You can see Fylde here. We're all named after regions in the area, and Fylde is a flat area between Lancaster and Blackpool. And we use the windmill as our symbol because there are a lot of windmills on Fylde due to the wind. I'll now introduce you to some of our team. Adam, you may have seen today. He's our college manager and is usually your first point of contact. Again, some of you met Sam today. He's our college accommodation manager. We have porters 24 hours, and these are the porters that are allocated to Fylde, and you will meet those. So whether you need somebody in the middle of the night, some help, you're a bit distressed, this is your first port of call out of hours. That's also where you collect your post. So I'm going to pass you over to Kirsty, who'll tell you about the rest of the support that's available to you. Thank you, Kirsty.
Thank you very much, Jean. So I'm just going to run through a few slides to let you know what support is available for you here at Lancaster University. So we're really fortunate at Lancaster. We're one of the very few universities in the country that actually has a collegiate system. And what that means is we're made up of those colleges that Jean was just telling you about. And each of those colleges acts as its own sort of support system, its own family. So although we're part of a larger university, we also feel really connected and really looked after as part of the college. So there's lots of support available at the university, but most of it will radiate from your college and it will feed into the wider support at the university. So I'm just going to go through some of the systems that we have in place to help you if you need it. So what we have is at the very heart of the college, we have our college manager, Adam, who was on the slide a couple of slides ago. He is there physically in the college. He has an office there, and he's the person that really makes the college work. So he's responsible for the day-to-day running of the college. He's there to help and support our JCR students. He's there to help and support all of our students in Fylde. And alongside Adam, we have Jean, our principal, and they just really are our face of Fylde. And you'll see them at lots of different events and around the college. On top of that, we have our porters that Jean has just mentioned on the previous slide. So our porters, as well as being security and the people that you get your post from, that sort of thing, they're actually a really important part of our welfare network here at the college. So because they're there 24/7, there's always somebody on duty. They're often there if there are incidents welfare related. So it might be that someone has had an accident, or someone is feeling very anxious in the night and they need someone to go to. The porters are always there, so don't just see them as security, see them as someone that can actually help and support you and that are there to listen to your problems as well. So do make use of the porters if you do feel like you need to talk to somebody, especially out of those normal office hours. They're there for you then. We have a fantastic college advisory team, which I actually head up, so I'll come on to them in a bit more detail on the next slide. We have a college wellbeing officer. Once again, I have a slide for her, so I will explain that in a bit more detail in a moment. We have a deanery system here at the university, and what the deanery is basically they're there to support communal living within the college. So I think Adam's going to go into this in a bit more detail, but they're there to make sure that we're all able to live together well, that we abide by the rules of the college, we abide by the rules of law at the moment, and to make sure that everybody can live harmoniously together. So that's our deanery system. We have our accommodation team that can help and support you with various issues around your accommodation. So you might have met Sam today, who's been working with us, but we have a wider team available as well. And then we have our junior common room, our JCR, which are our student representatives who you'll be hearing from a little bit later in this presentation. So as you can see, just within the college itself, we have a really, really strong support network that then feeds into the wider support available at the university. But we've got lots of people working here specifically to help and support you during your time at university. Okay, so this is the college advisory team. That's me in the top left. My name's Kirsty Thornton. And what we are is we are staff at the university. So most of us have full-time day jobs at the university. And on top of that, we volunteer our time to help and support Fylde students. So you've got a lot of expertise within this team, and we're really embedded into the university itself. So myself, I'm a careers consultant, and Hannah also works as a careers advisor in the careers team. We've got Louis, our deputy senior advisor, who manages several of the venues on campus, so Fylde Bar, the Deli Cafe, the new cafe at the Hick, and maybe some others, I'm not sure, sorry Louis, but he manages those venues. We've got Sam, who's in accommodation. We've got Cara, who's our chaplain at the chaplaincy centre. Sandra is an academic, and Harriet works in our staff development team. So those are our day jobs at the university, but what we do at Fylde is we're here to be your first port of contact if you have any issues at all, basically. So it might be that you have financial difficulties, it might be that you have some problems with your flatmates that you want to talk through, it might be that you have any other sort of welfare issues, it might be that you've suffered a life event like a bereavement, something like that. It might be that you don't know where to go for advice and support, and you just want someone to speak to that can help you navigate the university systems and point you in the right direction. So that's what we're there for, basically. We're non-judgmental, we're a listening ear, we will give you unbiased advice and support. We will help signpost you to different services within the university where relevant, and we really are just here to help you. So that's basically what the college advisory team is. We abbreviate it to CAT, so you may have heard of the Fylde cat before you came here and thought we had a cute cat mascot or a little pet. Unfortunately, no, that's our college advisory team, but we are just as just as lovable as a cat, but I'm not sure how I feel about that myself, being a dog person. But anyway, that's the college advisory team. So then we have, within the college, we have Kate Deeming, who's our college wellbeing officer. Now, Kate works from the counselling and mental health team, the wider team at the university, but she actually has a link into the college so that we can help and support our students directly within the college where appropriate. So Kate can help deal with mild to moderate mental health issues that you might be suffering with, and she can give advice and signpost, as well as feeding into the main counselling service within the university. So we're really, really lucky to have that at Lancaster. We have the wider team that you can access, but we also have this link directly into the college with Kate as well. So just a few contact details for you. So the college advisor team, if you're looking at the blue button at the bottom, the one I was just talking about, the best thing to do at the moment is to email us, and it's at fylecat@lancaster.ac.uk. That email address is monitored by a very, very small number of people, those people that you saw on that slide. So don't worry about, you know, your issues or whatever it is being seen by lots of people across the university. It comes to a very small team of people. It's triage. We'll respond to you in a timely manner. We'll give you some advice. We might arrange to have a meeting with you, or we might get a signpost you to further support as well. So anything big or small, please do contact us and we'll try and help you out as best we can. The number at the bottom as well is the college office telephone number. So we also have an email address for the college office that goes to Adam, but if you do need to telephone, then that number is available sort of working hours, Monday to Friday as well. So at the top, you'll see if you're on campus in an emergency, the best thing to do is to call security on campus, because even if you need, the police or an ambulance or the fire service, if you call security and let them know, what they can do is actually direct those emergency services to you on campus. As Jean was showing you on the picture of the whole of campus, it can be quite tricky sometimes to navigate. So if security are able to liaise with those emergency services, they can make sure that they know exactly where they need to go and get the help to you as soon as possible. So of course, you can dial 999 in an emergency, especially if you're off campus. For our international students, you would call 999 if there's an emergency, but on campus, please call our security team and let them know what the problem is as well. And then there you've got the telephone number of the college porters and the email address of the college porters. So if you cannot go to the porter's office in person, for example, if you're isolating at the moment, or if it's just not appropriate to go there at that time, you can give them a call on that number and they will respond to you immediately, usually. So that's our main systems. And just to summarise, we really are here to help you. So we are such a friendly college. We've got such passionate staff. You will have met some of them today when you were moving in, as well as our student representatives as well. And all of us are giving up our time because we really genuinely want to make sure that you have the best experience possible as a student here at Lancaster, whether that's helping you achieve academically, whether that's helping you navigate any challenges you might be having. And a personal passion of mine, of course, is whether you need some careers advice, that sort of thing. We really are genuinely here for you. So please don't ever feel like you can't approach us. You can't come and talk to Adam. You can't email us in if you've got a problem. I know sometimes it can be a cultural barrier that you're not used to asking for that help and support, but please be reassured that you'll always get a non-judgmental listening ear, and we will do our absolute best to help you. So I will hand over now, I think, to Adam again, but sorry if that's not right, but I will stop talking anyway. But thank you very much for listening.
Hello, yes, you were handing over to me. My name's Adam, I'm the college manager. What I'm be talking about now is about our deanery system and also about things with COVID-19. As it says there, the role of the Fylde deanery team is to maintain the good behaviour of students, both in and outside of the accommodation. Some people may liken them to the police, and in some ways that is true. They have certain powers to fine you and to discipline you in other ways. However, they also have an important welfare role as well in terms of sorting out a lot of your problems. We have our assistant deans. We have 3 of them who you probably would have met this today when you collected your keys. I'll go into them in details in a minute. The deanery is also there if you experience problems with people you're living with, particularly things like loud music and antisocial behaviour you might experience. We'd say if that happens, in the first instance, contact the porters. They're your first point of contact for those sort of things, and more often than not, they will come and they will sort out that problem quickly. If you're experiencing more ongoing issues or low-level problems, it's a good idea to either email the dean at fyledean@lancaster.ac.uk, or you could come and see me in the college office as well. So the contact details are just there at the bottom for any problems you might have. So moving forward, this is our deanery team. We have Louise Ray, the dean. She'd normally do this bit of the talk herself. Unfortunately, she can't be with us today. We also have Lewis, Dan and Alex, our assistant deans. They are postgraduate students that live in the accommodation with you. So we have Lewis and Alex live in the Superior ensuite, and Dan lives in the ensuite in George Fox. Now, you all know about COVID-19. So as you can imagine, coming to university could be quite scary with this hanging over us. We have come up with some guidance that we think will be useful for you, and we would ask you to follow it. So firstly, we'd ask you to wear a face mask or a covering whenever you're outside your accommodation. This is just good practice. A handy hint might be to leave a mask on the door handle in your room, so as soon as you come out, you would automatically pick it up with you. We'd also say maintain social distancing wherever possible. particularly outside the accommodation. When you're inside the accommodation, you're in what's known as a social bubble. And that's fine. You're allowed to interact with those people as you would people living in your own house. That said, it's probably a good idea to have a chat with the other people you're living with and just see what they're comfortable with as well. A really important one now is do not invite people from outside your flat into the accommodation. We cannot stress this strongly enough. So that does clearly mean no house parties. If you do start inviting people from outside of your flat into your accommodation, you will get in trouble. The deanery has got powers to fine you up to at least £300, potentially more. And also you could end up in front of the university disciplinary panel, who has the power to exclude you from the university. We are taking this incredibly seriously, so I cannot stress that highly enough. If other people invite you to their accommodation, do not go. You're more than welcome to meet them outside in groups of up to 6, but not inside the accommodation. Now, if you think you have got COVID symptoms, you can report this via the Connect Lancaster tab within the iLancaster app. This will go through to a central team who will collate all the information and offer you support and also advice on what you should do. If you need to self-isolate for any reason, if you've been in a country that is not in a safe travel corridor, or the local health authority advises you to self-isolate for a period of time, that means you have to stay within your flat. That means you cannot come out except in emergencies. So things like the fire alarm going off. You can also go out to collect essential items such as shopping, but only if you have it delivered. All the major supermarkets in Britain will deliver to immediately outside your accommodation. So you can go out to get that, but you cannot go into town, for example, to go to Sainsbury's or any other shops. We'd also say if you are living on campus, if possible, avoid leaving campus. As it is, it's relatively safe. We have no current confirmed cases on campus, and we want to keep it that way if possible. So we're saying avoid non-essential travel. I know this is incredibly difficult for some people, and also very difficult to think, you've come away from home, you may want to go back for a bit. Unfortunately, at this time, we're really asking you not to. We'd also say a really important one is to check your emails regularly. This is your university email account. Make sure you get that on your phone or your tablet or other device as soon as possible, okay, because all important information will come from the university to your university email account. That applies for everything from accommodation to colleges to your departments. They will all email your Lancaster email address. So keep up to date to there. Any advice or guidance that changes will go to that from the university. And it's also a good idea to keep up to date with the latest government advice by looking at various different news sources. And finally, we'd say the NHS has just launched a COVID-19 contact tracing app. It would be a good idea to download that, as it would really help manage any outbreaks we might have. So just moving forward then to fire safety. A lot of you may have come from countries across the world where they have different rules on fire safety and what to do in the event of a fire. Here at Lancaster, it's very simple. There are no false alarms. If the alarm goes off, we want you to evacuate the building as soon as possible and every time the alarm goes off. So be that 3 in the morning, or if you're in the middle of an online lecture, I'm afraid if the alarm goes off, you need to evacuate the building. That is incredibly important. Finally, any accommodation problems you might have. You should all receive within the next 24 to 48 hours a link from your inventory once you've moved in. Make sure you complete this and include any faults you have in your room. This is very important as it will be taken as a condition of your room when you moved in, and you could be liable for any damage if you do not report it straight away. If you do find something broken after you've completed your inventory, or something fails, say the shower's not working or something like that, report it to facilities. You can do this either via the student portal or the fix a fault tile on iLancaster. Our maintenance team here is very good, and they will deal with problems quickly. If you have any other questions regarding your on-campus accommodation, we'd say contact Sam by email at filedaccommodation@lancaster.ac.uk. I'm now going to hand over to Louis, who's going to do a bit that he calls his dad talk.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm afraid this is the dad talk. I am Louis. I'm your Deputy Senior Advisor, so I support Kirsty and the CAT team. But today I'd like to talk briefly about the importance of communicating clearly. Now, as some of you may be aware, the phrase Netflix and chill doesn't necessarily mean something like this. With two friends enjoying an episode of Stranger Things and a bowl of popcorn. It has in fact become young people code for putting something on Netflix that you have no intention of watching whilst enjoying the company of someone who tickles your fancy in the hope that they will, well, tickle your fancy. This is supposed to be about communicating clearly. Netflix and chill can also mean sex. But what if you really did want to watch Netflix and invited your new friend from your household bubble back to your room for some innocent Netflix and chill? You could find yourself in a very difficult, embarrassing, or potentially dangerous situation. And honest communication could leave one person expecting an awful lot more than was ever intended by the other. This is why it is so important to be clear around sexual consent. This year will be like no other, and your relationships with those within your new household bubble will be more important than ever. Clear and open communication in any topic will help you to avoid conflict, misunderstanding, and to build trust. But where sexual consent is concerned, it could be what keeps you safe. This also applies to both parties. It's not only important for setting boundaries and being able to say no, but also to protect the person initiating sex from committing a sexual assault by wrongly assuming that consent has been given. Now, here's a brief reminder about some of the aspects of sexual consent. So it should be mutual, active, you'd be respecting boundaries, it should feel comfortable, and you can always retract consent if you've agreed to something and then feel uncomfortable afterwards. A partner should keep on checking, and consent is always willingly given. And thus concludes my dad talk. Now I understand it's going to be quite a difficult act to follow, so it's just as well I'm handing over to your new JCR.
Thank you, Louis. Hi everyone, my name is Erin and I'm your current college president. I'm a third year student studying history and politics, and I absolutely love being a member of the college. So my role so far has consisted of planning all the events of Welcome Week and help organise your reps, which are student volunteers whose job it is just to help you get settled and get to know you a bit more, and you will be meeting them virtually, I believe, tomorrow. The team I am a part of is called the JCR, and I think Kirsty touched on this just a bit earlier. That stands for Junior Common Room, and we are a fully student elected group that puts on events and welfare campaigns and all sorts of things throughout the year. So starting university can be uncertain and unusual at the best of times, but given the current situation of the world, it could be even more so. As Jean said, we are one of the smallest colleges at Lancaster University, and so the feeling of creating a diverse community is fantastic, and this is something we like to pride ourselves on. The new rules we follow have made for a rather unusual and different Welcome Week this time around, with events mostly being online. This is the best way at this moment in time to engage with other flats without breaking social distancing, as well as bonding with your own flat. And hopefully we look forward to seeing many of you participate tomorrow night and also meet your reps virtually. And so keep an eye out on the college page and on your emails for any key information that's coming out at the moment. And that just leaves me to say, if you have any questions, either email filed@lancaster.ac.uk or message the college page on Facebook or the college page on Instagram or Twitter, and someone will respond as soon as they can. I hope you've all had a good day moving in and you've all settled in well and have all met your new flatmates. So have a good day and we'll answer some questions.
Okay, thank you, Erin. Yeah, we've had a lot of excellent questions in. The next one is, how and where do we pay our rent? In terms of rent, you will be sent an invoice in probably the next week, possibly 2 weeks. And on there, we'll tell you how to pay. There will normally be a link and you'll pay online. Now, if you have any problems paying your rent, what you need to do is email filedaccomodation@lancaster.ac.uk as soon as possible. And there are certain things they may be able to do in terms of organising a payment plan. This also leads on to other financial difficulty you may have. The college has a number of bursaries and grants that we are able to use for people who are in financial difficulty. The university also has a large number of bursaries that you may be eligible for. They all have different criteria. So if you do find yourself in financial difficulty, the best thing to do is come and talk to me in the college office and we can discuss the different options available for you. There's also a question about laundry. We have a laundrette. We have several on campus, in fact. Our nearest one is just behind the Fylde building between us and Furness, just next to the Pizzetta restaurant. In there, you can do your washing. You need to get what's called a circuit laundry card or the app, I've just been told, and you can do your laundry in there. There are instructions on the wall, I believe, as you go in. There's this question, I've received 4 keys. What are they all for? The chances are this is George Fox, and what they'll be, one of the keys will be for the main room within your block. There will also be one for the outside door to let you in and out on the stairwells. There will also be one for your kitchen. Now, if you choose to lock it, it is always a good idea to. Not everyone does, but we would advise you to. You will also receive a 4th small key. That will be your mailbox key. Next to Fylde Porter's Lodge, there is a mail room, and any smaller items of post will be put in there for you. They are by alphabetical order by surname. So there's a box for A, B, C, etc. And that key will fit the box for your surname. Any larger items of post, however, will be kept in the Porter's Lodge. So any parcels or things you order will go automatically to the Porter's Lodge and you can pick them up from there. They will post a list on their window when they receive things. What I would say though is if you receive a notification from a courier or Amazon or anything like that to say your item has been delivered, leave it an hour or so till you go and collect it, because as you can imagine, with 500 odd students living on campus, that's a lot of parcels we receive every day, sometimes up to 100. It will take time for the porters to organize them and sort them out. So give them a while to sort them out before you go and try and collect your items. Next question is, do you have any specific support for commuting students? Yes, we do. However, they're slightly reduced this year, unfortunately. Certainly for this term, unfortunately, our off-campus room is going to have to be closed as we're unable to keep it COVID secure due to its size and layout. We do, however, have the common room if you wish to come and study, where you collect your keys from today or yesterday. That room is going to be turned into a study space, which you can come and use. I will be based in there for probably the first 2 weeks of term. If you have any problems after that, I will move back into my office, which is just next to the common room. So if you are on campus, say you have a in-person lecture in the morning and then in the afternoon you have a in-person seminar, then you can come and use college for studying, and that's absolutely fine. You're also welcome, of course, to use the library or the study zone, which is a larger but more mixed facility. Some students prefer Fylde Common Room as it's a bit quieter generally. If you have any specific problems being a commuter student, please do come and talk to me and we will do our absolute best to help you. The next question is, can family and friends come to visit and live in the accommodation? We would, wherever possible, say no. They certainly cannot enter your accommodation. Once you form your social bubble with the other people you live in, I'm afraid family and friends from outside the university or within the university that don't live in that flat cannot come and visit you in the accommodation. We would really discourage visitors from campus in general. This is not normally what we're like. We are normally very open and we encourage people to come. However, in these situations, we would say, please don't unless it's essential. If family and friends do come to visit you, we would always say meet them outside in groups of less than 6, but they certainly cannot come into the accommodation, I'm afraid. There's a good question here. Are we able to do any sport, running or walking, without wearing a mask? Now, there is plenty of sports opportunities on campus, and certainly the organised sports teams will have their own rules regarding this, so you'll need to check with them. The sports centre as well will have its own rules, so it's best to see what their rules are as well. In terms of running, if you can do it in a social distanced way, away from other people, say along the perimeter road or the woodland trail, then as long as you are able to guarantee you can maintain a distance of at least 2 meters between everyone, then you wouldn't have to wear a mask, no. Similar with walking. But what we are saying is if you're walking up the spine, say from one place in campus to another, it's just good practice to wear a mask. Is the library open? Yes, the library is currently open. They have if you want to use it as a study space, however, you need to book that space in advance. You can do that online. If you go to the library website, they'll have all the information there. You will normally need your ID card to get in. So if you haven't been issued an ID card yet, you may have a problem, but I think there is a way around it. You'll need to check with the library, I'm afraid. Can we expect Christmas breaks and other breaks in study? Yes, as things are working at the moment, there will be term dates, so term will finish for Christmas and again for Easter and summer. Some courses have what's called a reading week in between, and that's where you won't have any lectures, but you will be expected to do your own self-directed study. It varies from course to course, and your department will tell you about that. Michaelmas term, so that's this term, ends on the 11th of December. It says, can anybody join whichever sports club? There are a number of different sports clubs within the university. Fylde College has a football team and a netball team. They also have a bar sports team, but unfortunately bar sports, which is pool, darts and dominoes, unfortunately won't be going ahead this term. But if you keep an eye on Fylde Facebook page, there will be announcements for the netball team and the football team. In the wider university, we have sports clubs for a wide range of different sports, including some traditional ones, football, rugby, cricket, and also some ones you've probably never even heard of, like underwater hockey. I would say, actually, wherever possible, if these clubs are operating as usual, and on Friday, I believe, there will be a online freshers fair, which a lot of these will be showcased and they'll explain what they're doing. I'd encourage you to have a look at them and see what you can do. Next question is, when does a student who's commuting get an ID card? Yes, those of you that live on campus may well have got your ID card today. For those of you that are commuting and didn't come onto campus, Student Registry, who organise all the ID cards, will be in touch with you probably within the next week to organise an event for you to get your ID cards. So they will contact you and let you know what's going on shortly. Again, same if you're isolating. If you're self-isolating, obviously you won't be able to go and collect your ID card. If you just let Registry know this when they contact you, then be able to arrange something specifically for you when you are out of self-isolation. Will the gym be open this term? Yes, the gym is very much open, and we would encourage students to have a look, go and join. If you just type into Google or any other search engine, Lancaster University Sports Centre, that'll take you to their homepage, and they've got all the information on there on the various different membership options and the different facilities, but it is very much open, and we'd encourage you to have a look at that and join the gym if you want to. Okay, we've just had a question. If we have a problem with our chosen courses, who would we go to talk to? I'd say really in the first instance, the people to talk to would be your department of the course you're currently on. Depending on what exactly the issue is, they may be able to change things for you. It may be possible to change courses in some situations, but your first point of call certainly would be to talk to your department about that.
Can I just add to that as well.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, Adam's totally right. You need to speak to your department first, and you need to do that quite quickly as well, because there's a limit as to when you might be able to change course if that is what you decide to do, and it's quite soon. I think it's week 3, but don't quote me on that. The other people that you might want to talk to is the careers department if you want to talk about where a change in direction might lead for you. So do speak to your academic department first, get the information from them. But if you want some further advice around what a change in course might mean, then get in touch with the careers department, and you just need to search for careers at Lancaster, and you can find all our contact details there.
Thank you, Kirsty. Okay, we have another question. I think, what time does SPA close? SPA closes at 11 o'clock, I believe, tonight, and every night, in fact. So, yep, that's always a good place to buy the essentials you need. In fact, it's just been refurbished and it's very nice now if you go there. Okay, there's a good question about are there opportunities to meet new people in person during Freshers Week, or will it all now be online? Unfortunately, with COVID, a lot of things will be online. That will give you the easiest and safest way to meet as many people as possible in Fylde. If you look on the iLancaster app, the Welcome Week timetable, you can filter by Fylde College and see all your events there. There'll also be a number of events run by different parts of the university. So the Chaplaincy Centre are running a number of online events. Also some more specialist teams like the Transitions team, and also many departments are running events. There will be limited in-person things going on as well. So if you have a look on the Welcome Week timetable on iLancaster, you'll be able to see any events that are going on in person as well. Okay, another question. From where can I get a confirmation that I study in the university? If you need that, I believe you can order it online through the student portal. If you're having trouble finding where to do that exactly, if you email the base at lancaster.ac.uk, they'll be able to help you, because you get this confirmation from a student registry and they're part of the base. Okay, there don't seem to be any more questions coming through. If you do have any questions later on, you'll all received within your welcome pack a contact card with my contact details certainly on them, and the welfare email address, and also the office email address. So feel free to drop an email to either fylde@lancaster.ac.uk or fylecat@lancaster.ac.uk, or if it's more urgent, then either telephone the porters, or if it's safe to do so and you're not self-isolating, go and see them. We would say phone in the first instance, however. However, that seems to be it. So I will say goodbye to everyone for the moment, and we will see you again soon.